Ginisang Munggo or sauteed mung beans is another popular dish in the Philippines. What's good about this course is that it can be flavored with different kinds of meat, seafood, or even vegetables depending on your preference. Here is my version of Ginisang Munggo, and these are the ingredients. Mungo beans. I prefer the one that's cut in half. Pork belly, that's optional for this dish. Shrimps, that's also optional. Garlic and onion. Ampalaya or bitter gourd. Spinach as my substitute for ampalaya leaves. Straw mushrooms, either fresh or canned is good. Olive oil, which is optional, and fish sauce for flavor. Now, let's prep our ingredients. In a small or medium-sized pan or casserole, place the mungo beans, add water, and let it boil for 15 to 20 minutes or until the beans become soft. While waiting for the mungo beans to soften, let's prep the rest of the ingredients. Start off by mincing some garlic. Now, let's cut and thinly slice the onion. Cut the ampalaya into half and scrape the inner part including the seeds. Slice the ampalaya thinly lengthwise or depending on your preferred size, width, or length. Take a couple slices of pork belly and slice it thinly so it will cook fast and easy. Now, let's clean the shrimps. Remove the head and place it in a clean bowl as we will use it later. Peel and devein the rest of the shrimps. Let's go ahead and check our mungo beans. It's already boiling and it created a foam on top with the beans skin. Scrape the foam and the skin. Continue this process and check if the mungo beans are already soft. You don't need to completely remove the entire skin from the pan. Place the shrimp heads to a small pan, add water, and bring it to a boil. Slowly remove the foam that's accumulated on top of the broth. Open the can of straw mushrooms and slice the mushrooms in half. Rinse the spinach thoroughly with cold water. Using a lemon squeezer, place and squeeze the shrimp heads to extract and incorporate the flavor to the broth. You can also use mortar and pestle if you have one. Using a strainer, separate the shrimp heads from the broth. You can now toss the shrimp heads if you already have enough broth for our mungo recipe. Once the beans are soft, strain and remove the liquid. Now that we're done prepping, let's cook our mungo dish. Let's start by putting the pork belly in the pan without any oil. The pork will extract its own fat that we will use for this dish. If you don't want to put pork, you can use regular oil. Only leave a small amount of oil so our dish won't be too oily and greasy. Set aside the pork and start sautéing the garlic. Add the onions and sauté it together. Add a couple dash of fish sauce and mix it well. You can also use salt if you don't want that fish sauce smell. Add the peeled shrimps. Now it's time to add our main ingredient, which is the mungo beans. As you can see, I added the beans while the shrimp is still not cooked thoroughly. It's because we still have a couple of minutes left to add the rest of the ingredients, and we don't want the shrimps to overcook and start getting rubbery. Now let's add our super concentrated shrimp-based soup. Simmer for at least 5 minutes. Now let's add our ampalaya or bitter gourd. Once the ampalaya is already soft, you can now start adding the straw mushrooms. Now let's add the spinach as our final ingredient. You can also add some serrano peppers for a little bit of heat. Now we're ready to serve. Mga unta, mga tayon, kain po, let's eat.